Imagine walking into a place you once knew, your local shopping mall. The automatic doors slide open and for a moment you're transported back in time. Not long ago, it was the heart of the community. Families on weekends, teenagers by the fountain, the air buzzing with music and the smell of fresh pretzels. Laughter echoed off the walls and every corner was alive with possibility. Every storefront was a window into a different world, one filled with toys, clothes, books, and dreams waiting to be discovered. Each display promised something new, something exciting. It was more than a place to shop. It was where people connected and belonged. Friends met up after school, families celebrated milestones, and strangers became neighbors. Now picture that same mall in the summer of 2025. The energy is gone, replaced by a heavy stillness. The hallways are dim and quiet. The once bright lights flicker, casting long shadows where crowds used to gather. The music has stopped, the fountain is dry, and most security gates are down for good. The silence is almost deafening, broken only by the occasional creak of an old sign. Behind them, empty spaces where vibrant shops once thrived. Shelves gather dust, and mannequins stand frozen in time. The only sounds are your footsteps and the hum of the lights. Each step echoes, a reminder of what's been lost. More security guards than shoppers. Their presence feels out of place, as if they're guarding memories rather than merchandise. The few open stores look desperate, displays begging for customers who never come. Clearance signs hang like pleas for attention. This isn't just one mall, it's happening all across America. From coast to coast, malls are closing their doors, leaving behind empty shells. The change was slow. First a big anchor store closed, then a clothing chain, then the food court emptied out. Each loss chipped away at the mall's spirit. People found new ways to shop, and the mall faded into a ghost of its former self. Online orders replaced window shopping, and convenience won out over tradition. What was once a symbol of prosperity now stands as a monument to a profound shift in our economy and way of life. The empty halls are a testament to how quickly things can change. What happened? Where did everyone go? The questions linger in the air unanswered. The quiet emptiness tells a powerful story of economic hardship, changing habits, and the rise of shopping on screens instead of in stores. It's a story of adaptation, but also of loss. Each dark storefront is a reminder of lost jobs and dreams put on hold. For every closed shop, there's a family, a worker, a dreamer left behind. The empty mall is not just a building in decline, it's a symbol of a changing era, a crossroads between past and future. It's a mirror reflecting a nation in the middle of a massive retail crisis. The reflection is sobering, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths. We're forced to ask, what do we value and what does the future hold for our communities? Will we find new ways to gather or drift further apart? The echoes in these empty malls are more than silence, they're a warning. They remind us that nothing lasts forever, not even the places we once took for granted. They urge us to look closer at the changes reshaping our lives, to ask ourselves what we want our communities to become. The American Mall, once a gathering place, now stands as a question mark for the next generation. Its fate is uncertain, its story unfinished. Will we find new ways to connect, or will these empty spaces become our new normal? The answer depends on all of us and the choices we make from here. The story of the empty mall is the story of us, all of us, caught in the middle of a retail revolution. It's a chapter still being written, shaped by our hopes and fears. And the ending is still unwritten. The future of these spaces, and of our communities, remains in our hands. The decline of America's shopping centers isn't just a feeling. It's backed by staggering numbers and hard data that paint a sobering picture. By June 2025, over 120 million square feet of retail space had closed, more than 2,000 football fields leaving vast empty spaces where bustling stores once stood. In just 6 months, 5,822 stores announced closures, a dramatic increase from the previous year, signaling a deepening crisis in the retail sector. For every 2 new stores opening, nearly 3 are closing for good, tipping the balance and accelerating the decline of traditional retail. Analysts warn that total closures could hit 15,000 this year, a record that would surpass even the worst years of past retail downturns. This isn't a minor dip. It's a fundamental crisis reshaping towns and cities, leaving main streets and shopping districts eerily quiet. Each shuttered store is a failed business, a lost investment, and a blow to the community's economic foundation, affecting workers, families, and local economies. The numbers reveal a historic change in how Americans shop and live, as online shopping and shifting habits reshape the retail landscape. This is a nationwide phenomenon, not just a few struggling companies or isolated regions. Every corner of the country is feeling the effects. The retail industry is shrinking at a rapid, alarming rate, with consequences that ripple through supply chains and local businesses alike. The crisis is real and its impact is everywhere, changing the face of American communities for years to come. Many thought the worst for retail was during the COVID-19 pandemic, when 10,000 stores closed in 2020. But the crisis of 2025 is even more severe. This year's projected 15,000 closures will far surpass the pandemic's record. Back then, closures were driven by a temporary health emergency. Now they're driven by deeper, persistent economic problems. During the pandemic, stimulus checks and benefits softened the blow. In 2025, that support is gone. Families face high inflation, rising debt, and a weakening job market. This isn't about waiting for a virus to pass, it's about a fundamental lack of purchasing power. The retail industry survived the pandemic but may not survive the aftermath. The shift to online shopping is now permanent. Even established retailers are struggling to keep their doors open. This is a new, more formidable challenge. What's causing this retail shutdown? It's a perfect storm. First, relentless inflation has squeezed household budgets, leaving less for non-essentials. People are forced to prioritize needs over wants, hitting retailers hard. Second, shopping habits have changed. E-commerce is now the norm, with online giants and social media shops dominating. Foot traffic to physical stores has plummeted. Third, major bankruptcies like At Home, Claire's, and Joann trigger a domino effect, hurting entire malls. These forces are interconnected, creating a vicious cycle. The traditional retail model is simply no longer sustainable for thousands of businesses. The crisis isn't just hitting small shops, it's toppling giants. Rite Aid is closing nearly 500 stores, the most of any retailer this year. Party City is gone. Forever 21 is shutting up to 200 locations. Department stores like J.C. Penney, Kohl's, and Macy's are shrinking fast. Big Lots, Best Buy, Advance Auto Parts, and even 7-Eleven are closing hundreds of locations. UPS is cutting jobs and closing buildings. Even grocery giant Kroger is closing 60 stores. These aren't fringe players, they're household names. Their decline sends shockwaves through the economy. When giants fall, the foundation of American retail cracks. No sector is immune, not even those selling essentials. The message is clear. The retail landscape is changing for everyone. A store closure is more than an empty building, it's a ripple through the community. Workers lose jobs and so do security, cleaning, and delivery staff. Small businesses nearby suffer as foot traffic disappears. One closure can trigger a chain reaction, hollowing out entire districts. Local governments lose tax revenue, forcing cuts to schools, libraries, and public safety. Property values drop, making recovery even harder. Malls and shopping centers are more than commerce, they're places where people gather and connect. Their decline erodes community identity and vitality. Empty buildings become symbols of decay, discouraging new investment. The impact is social as much as economic. A simple business decision can become a community crisis. Retailers are being squeezed by three powerful forces. First, consumer debt is at record highs, especially student loans, with repayments resumed and delinquencies rising. Many households have little left for shopping. Second, the job market is weakening. Unemployment claims are up and manufacturing is slowing. People who lose jobs are struggling to find new ones. Third, tariffs have soared to historic levels, raising the cost of imported goods. Retailers must choose absorb costs or raise prices for already strapped consumers. These pressures create a toxic environment for retail. Even well-managed companies are struggling to survive. The economy teeters on the edge of recession. The ability of retailers to thrive has never been more challenged. Not every store is closing. Some are surviving, even thriving. The difference: they sell needs, not wants. Grocers, pharmacies, and eyeglass shops have stable customer bases. Discount retailers attract price-conscious shoppers. Some, like Casey's, Ulta, and Daiso, are even expanding. They offer unique experiences or unbeatable value. The retail apocalypse is a great sorting. Outdated models fail, adaptable ones survive. Vacancy rates remain manageable as resilient businesses fill empty spaces. The survivors understand the new economic reality. They meet essential needs and price sensitivities of today's consumer. The wave of closures in 2025 marks a turning point for American retail, signaling the end of an era that shaped generations. The era of the mall as a community hub is ending, leaving behind echoes of bustling crowds and shared experiences. The future is smaller, more focused, and deeply integrated with digital technology where physical and online shopping blend seamlessly. Successful stores will offer unique experiences, expert service, or unbeatable value, becoming destinations, not just places to buy things. Communities face the challenge of repurposing millions of square feet of empty space, searching for new ways to bring people together. Dead malls may become community centers, healthcare facilities, housing, or e-commerce hubs, transforming the landscape in unexpected ways. The storefront of the future may not be a store at all, but a point of connection between the digital and physical worlds. For consumers, there are benefits: convenience, innovation, and often lower prices, making shopping faster and more accessible than ever. But there are costs: fewer jobs, less choice, and the loss of community spaces that once brought neighbors together. We're trading public squares for private screens and the sense of belonging for the ease of online transactions. The crisis forces us to ask, what kind of communities do we want, and how will we shape the spaces we share? The choices we make now will shape the future of American shopping, influencing how we live, work, and connect. The empty stores are a warning and a call to imagine something better, to reimagine the heart of our communities for generations to come.